I need to tell you something that might sound crazy. I'm done being disciplined. Yeah, you heard that right. After years of trying to build discipline, forcing myself to wake up early, pushing through when I didn't feel like it, beating myself up every time I failed, I'm done. And here's the thing. Quitting discipline was the best decision I ever made. But wait, before you click away thinking this is some lazy excuse, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what I discovered completely changed how I get things done. And it's backed by actual science, not just some guru selling you a course. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the most successful people in the world don't rely on discipline, and what they use instead. Let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself, I just need more discipline? How many times have you watched a video, felt super motivated, made a plan, and then 3 days later, you're back to your old habits? Be honest. It happens all the time, right? And then what do? We blame ourselves. We think, I'm just not disciplined enough. I'm lazy. I don't have what it takes. But here's what nobody tells you. The problem was never your discipline. The problem is that discipline itself is a terrible strategy for long-term change. Think about it. Every single piece of self-improvement content tells you the same thing. Be more disciplined. Push through. No excuses. It's like everyone is reading from the same broken script, and what's worse, they're actually setting you up to fail. Let me explain why. Back in 1998, a psychologist named Baumeister discovered something fascinating about willpower. He did this experiment where he put people in a room with fresh-baked cookies and radishes. Some people were told to eat the cookies, and others had to resist the cookies and eat only the radishes. Then, both groups were given a difficult puzzle to solve. Here's where it gets interesting. The people who had to resist the cookies, they gave up on the puzzle way faster. Like, significantly faster. Almost twice as fast. Why? Because willpower is like a battery. Every time you use it, it drains. And when it's empty, it's empty. You can't just try harder. This is called ego depletion, and it explains so much. It explains why you can be disciplined all day at work, and then come home and binge eat or scroll your phone for 3 hours. It explains why your New Year's resolutions always fail by February. It explains why some days you feel unstoppable, and other days you can't even get off the couch. Your willpower was never infinite. You were never going to discipline your way to success. It's like trying to drive across the country with a gas tank that only holds 2 gallons. So what do successful people actually do? They don't rely on discipline at all. They use something completely different. And it changes everything. Here's what I learned after years of struggling. The most successful people, the ones who actually achieve their goals year after year, they're not more disciplined than you. They're not built different. They don't have some secret motivation gene. They just have better systems. Let me say that again because it's important. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Think about someone who eats healthy. Do they use discipline every single meal? Do they fight themselves 3 times a day? No, they just don't have junk food in their house. The system does the work. Think about someone who exercises every day. Are they forcing themselves out of bed with pure willpower? No. They probably laid out their gym clothes the night before. They go to a gym that's on their way to work. The system removes the friction. This is the secret nobody talks about. Discipline is about forcing yourself to do the right thing. Systems are about designing your life so the right thing becomes the easy thing. One requires constant effort, the other runs on autopilot. So how do you actually build these systems? All right, let me give you 3 things you can do today to stop relying on discipline and start building systems that actually work. First, design your environment. Want to eat healthier? Don't buy junk food. Seriously, it's that simple. If cookies aren't in your house, you won't eat them at midnight. You're not fighting your willpower. You're just not having the option. Want to scroll less? Delete the apps from your phone, or at least move them to the last page where they're harder to reach. Make the bad behavior harder. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow every morning. When you go to bed, there it is. Make the good behavior easier. Second, use habit stacking. You already have habits that you do every single day without thinking. Brushing your teeth, making coffee, checking your phone when you wake up. Stack your new behavior on top of an existing one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write for 5 minutes. After I brush my teeth, I will do 10 push-ups. You're not creating something new from scratch. You're attaching it to something that's already automatic. Way easier than using pure willpower. Third, make it stupidly small. This is where most people go wrong. They try to change everything at once. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m., work out for an hour, meditate for 30 minutes, journal, read, and by day 4, they're burnt out. Instead, make it so small you can't fail. 1 push-up, 1 page, 2 minutes of meditation. The goal isn't the result. The goal is becoming the type of person who does the thing. The identity shift matters more than the outcome. Once you're consistent, then you can scale up. But first, just show up. Look, I spent years thinking I was broken, thinking everyone else had this magical discipline that I just didn't have. But the truth is, nobody does. Not really. The people who seem disciplined just have better systems. They've designed their lives so that success is the default, not the exception. So I'm done being disciplined. I'm done beating myself up. I'm done with the guilt and the shame and the endless cycle of motivation and failure. Instead, I'm building systems, and it's working better than discipline ever did. If this resonated with you, if you're tired of the same recycled advice that never works, you're in the right place. This channel is about questioning the rules that don't make sense and finding what actually works. Subscribe if you want to see more, and drop a comment telling me what discipline advice you're done with. I read every single one. I'm done following the rules that don't work. Are you?